Hey everybody, how you doing tonight? It's Rick here again. Another video about horror movies. I did one recently on the difference between 1979 and 2004 Salem's Lot. Now I'm going to do a shorter video, basically on what I think makes a good horror movie remake. My opinion of that. And this goes with any remake of any movie, but I'm going to stick to horror movies because that's what I like to talk about. Now, first of all, I think it's pretty common knowledge that most people, when it comes to a good classic horror movie, 60s, 70s, whatever, what a lot of people do not like remakes very much. There are some that do, but overall, I think the going consensus is that a lot of the remakes of classic movies that we enjoy, horror movies, seem to fall a little short. And I agree. Now, I've liked some of them. I'm not going to say, I'm going to mention that here. But I think there's a reason why. Okay, now, when you're talking about, first of all, a good classic horror movie, whether it's a vampire movie or a zombie movie or anything, a ghost movie or anything, there are certain elements that people remember of those movies. And if you're going to make a remake, you have to include those elements, but have your own twist. Make it a little different. A lot of times, horror movie remakes fail because there's no originality. For instance, let me take a great classic, Night of the Living Dead. It was like 68 or 69, I believe that was made. That was the first zombie movie that introduced zombies that are fleshy. Before that, a few zombies movies made were basically about voodoo and zombies didn't eat people. But they started that in Night of the Living Dead, and it was a trend that's up to today. Well, a lot of people don't even realize there was a remake in 1990 because it didn't really get that much acclaim. Some people know, some people don't, unless you're a horror movie buff. And we had Tony Todd in it, the great actor, Candyman and Final Destination, great actor. And it was a good movie. I saw it in 1990 at the movies when it came out. Of course, I had seen the original numerous times. But it wasn't a good remake. Why? Because it was exactly the same story, almost line for line, of the old one, just modernized a little. Same characters, same sequence of events, just smoothed over for the 1990 versus the late 60s. But even though it had good actors, and there's no problem with the way it was made. If there was no classic, that would have been a great movie for Night of the Living Dead. But of course, there was a classic. So when you make a movie almost exactly like the old one, why would people going to like it better? What makes you think people are going to be attracted to that more than the old one? There's nothing to say, oh, well, this is better. It wasn't as creepy. It was made very well. It was in color, whereas the old one was not in color. They have colored versions, but it really wasn't in color. But it wasn't creepy enough. It didn't have the sound effects, the atmosphere. It was just a good horror movie, but it was done before. Fail. Okay, that's an example why people are not going to like remakes, because there's nothing about it that's original. Okay, it's a pure carbon copy. It's like being a cover band that just covers a Journey cover band or a Ozzy Osbourne cover band or a Pink Floyd cover band or something like that. Yeah, they're fun, but nobody really cares about them in the end because you're just copying somebody else. You have nothing about you. It's original. Now, another one was The Omen. Great movie, 1976. If you're into that, I thought it was the trilogy was great, but I thought the original one, Gregory Peck, great creepiness. They made another one, I forget, sometime 2000s, and it was good. It was good, but it was just like the Night of the Living Dead. It was exactly the same story. There was nothing about it that was original. Nothing. Some of the death scenes were a little bit different, but the sequences followed exactly. The characters were exactly so, and it wasn't as creepy. Again, didn't have that creepy chanting music like the first one, and so therefore it's failed. It's a good movie on its own, but it's just copying something else. Nobody's going to get excited about a copy that doesn't do anything to stimulate you. That's a fail. I would never really care to see that one because I like the original. There's no reason. It didn't do anything to drag me in. Good actors, was done well. I knew everything was going to happen. As I was looking at the movie, I'm like, I bet this happens next. Sure enough, sure enough. Okay, now there are some that are better because they are the same movie, but they definitely do things different, like It. I'm going to have a whole segment on It, comparing the two in another video, but not here. All I can say about the new It, and I like them both. I like them both. So I'm not going to say which one I like more. I'll say I like them both, but they were very different approach because the It character was very different in the second one than the first one. That's the number one thing they did that was good. They did not try to make him. The first character was excellent, the one in 1990, but so was the second one. Very different. In the movie, the things that happened in the movie, even though it was the same movie with the same characters, that worked because the events that happened were there was a lot of different events in the second It than there was in the first one. So that was you're able to equally like that one. A lot of people did as much as the old one. I've seen a lot of people reviews say I like them both. They're very much different. That worked. Okay. But the one I want to finish with that really knew how to make a remake, and it's my most favorite horror remake, is a 2003 or 4, I believe, Dawn of the Dead remake from the original. Now, I love the original, 1978 or 9, I believe, Dawn of the Dead. But the remake, which came out, I believe, in 2004, I believe, is my most favorite horror movie. Why? Because it's a different movie. It's the same name. It's got the concept of the mall and the virus. That's it. There's not one character that's the same. There's all different characters. The sequence of events, how they get to the mall, and all the things that happen in the mall, and all the things that happen after the mall are entirely different. So you still get the same feel of the zombie. And the zombies are different. I didn't like the fact that they were going to make fast zombies, but it worked for that movie. I thought, when somebody said, go see if the zombies are fast, I'm like, what? But it worked for that movie. They kept the structure, the overall thought of, this creepy virus. We don't really know where it came from. And they had a couple cameos of the old people and videos during the movie, which kept the flavor. It's Dawn of the Dead. But I'm telling you, you almost could have had a separate name for that movie. They were so intelligent how they did that. They have their own iconic scenes that are not in the old one. Creepy iconic scenes with the zombie baby and things like that. And just the way it ended, the credits, the way they go on that island, you don't really know if they make it. You get the impression they don't. It's really good. I really thought that was I like that movie equal to 1978 Dawn of the Dead. I don't like it more. I think it's almost to me it's different. A total different atmosphere. Depends what I'm in the mood for. That's how you make a good horror remake. That's how horror remakes should get a template. Use the same name, use the overall arching theme, and make your own movie out of it. Okay? Your own scenes that people can go back and say, wow, that's iconic. Not like the other ones I mentioned where there's nothing different about them. That's Ricky. That's my opinion tonight on what makes a good horror remake. Let me know if you agree or disagree. Other than that, it's 19 September, and I just finished seeing Lamar Jackson beat Mahomes, which I didn't like that idea, but he did. And that's the way it goes. All right. God bless. Have a great day.